Last time on Disaster Yukon.
This podcast is about two individuals named Robert Service. The Roberts.
Robert W. Service.
Skip Pomodoro reporting from Dawson City, Yukon.
Robert John Service, ineluctable expert of Soviet history. Robert William Service, timeless bard of the Klondike Gold Rush.
Disaster Yukon, interpreting the word disaster quite broadly for some time now. With your host, Stephen, recording in the traditional territory of the Trondequichin Han First Nation. Let's do this. Disaster Yukon Hypecast, installment number 3. Another psychotic episode brought to you by Horrific Agony.
Horrific Agony Incorporated, harming you since 666.
So I says to her, I says,
Disaster Yukon.
Disaster Yukon.
Disaster Yukon. Disaster
Disaster
Yukon.
Yukon.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this fourth wall.
What? No. I'm recording.
Skip Pomodoro here. You see, folks, breaking the fourth wall is a concept in theater, film, and other storytelling mediums whereby a character in the story acknowledges the audience and talks directly to them. Ronald Reagan famously demanded Mikhail Gorbachev tear down the Berlin Wall. It would appear Stephen is repurposing that famous quote to bring up this subject of the fourth wall. Let's see what happens next.
Stephen here. Today's subject is calzones. I would talk about pizza, but people might think I'm trying too hard to be quirky. And I love pineapple, by the way. Calzones, not to be confused with panzerotti. The defining features of a calzone are its crescent shape and a filling made up of pizza ingredients, generally speaking. Wikipedia mentions the filling may include an egg. Now that I think of it, I've never tried a panzerotti, alas. Calzones are what we're here for, and I'm here today to contend that Canada has its own calzones. I'm open to the idea that there are more, but as far as I'm concerned, there are two main contenders for the best frozen calzones on the Canadian market. They are, of course, Pillsbury Pizza Pops and McCain Pizza Pockets. We hit the streets of Dawson City to find out what people think of these calzones and which one is really king of Canada's frozen calzone game. Stephen here, filling in for myself. So I'll get to the point. When I started recording this podcast, it was in the midst of the Yukon's territorial election, and that'll come up later, but more importantly, it was just before a recall of Pillsbury Pizza Pops. So I find that very interesting, and I'm sure you do as well. Anyway, let's continue listening. With that, we return to our regular programming. We hit the streets of Dawson City to find out what people really think of these calzones and which one really is king of Canada's frozen calzone game. Hello there. I'd like to talk to you today about calzones.
Okay.
Do you know what a calzone is?
Yes, I do.
Do you happen to like calzones?
It's been a while since I had one. Why are you asking this?
I'm trying to gauge the opinion of Dawsonites on the subject of calzones.
So you want to know what people in Dawson City think about calzones?
Absolutely.
You couldn't ask more important questions?
Well, questions like what?
How about the election?
It's not so much an election, more of an opinion poll.
No, I mean politics.
This is the first I've heard of calzones being political.
No, I mean the election.
Yes.
Calzones are dough heavy, eh?
Absolutely.
It's like supporting big dough. It's like double dough compared to regular pizza.
Of course, if we could.
Who the heck is selling calzones around here?
Yes, of course.
I'm trying to cut down. What about those little pizza pop things? I've had more of those little things lately than calzones. Anyway, so if I had to make a decision, I'd say I prefer regular pizza, or in a snack frenzy, I would say pizza pops. You got to make that stuff at home. You need lots of dough.
And there you have it. Not everyone likes calzones. Let's see what the next Dawsonite has to say.
What the? It was all a dream? Calzones? Disaster? Yukon?
Beeb. Good morning, assigned life partner. I have prepared your favorite breakfast meal, vitamin-enriched petroleum-derived porridge analog. Assigned life partner, is everything all right? Aren't you happy to see me in holograph form? If you would like to upgrade your experience to the life size.
Steven here, filling in for Skip, who is on vacation in the sunny Balkans. You see, folks, the previous exchange between yours truly and the robot voice is a simple gag riffing on an old sci-fi horror fantasy trope. The idea is that I wake up in bed and it's the distant future and I have an assigned life partner, for lack of a better word, a robot girlfriend. You see, folks, I rely a lot on cliché and repetition to drive certain points home and create an overall sense of nostalgia, usually for the 90s. Well, hopefully that explains things. On with the show. I'm Stephen Winton, and I'm here today to talk to you about sliders. I had a crush on Melissa Joan Hart, but secretly I had a crush on the hot guy from Sliders. But I would never admit it until now. I'm bi. I read in Rolling Stone or somewhere that Melissa Joan Hart made out with the hot guy from Sliders on ecstasy once. Goals. A slider is not a burger. A slider is smaller. The secret to a slider is folly. You see, when a cook or kitchen helper overmixes ground burger meat, it takes on a consistency that is unsuitable for regular-sized burger patties. Thus, sliders, which are almost like meatballs if you think about it. So now you know, the next slider you eat was actually meant to be a burger, but someone likely messed up in the kitchen. Like and subscribe for more fascinating insight on vital subjects. So if I were to write a fan fiction starring Chip Pomododo that takes place in the Sliders TV show universe, would I acknowledge the existence of the dish, the slider? This begs the question, do sliders, the dish, exist in Sliders TV show universe? I'd ask the hot guy from the show, but he's not returning my emails.
Well, here we are again, friends. We've come to the end of another Hypecast. I hope you enjoyed yourselves as much as I did, and most importantly, I hope you learned something. I sure did. Without much else to say, it's time for me to sign off on another Hypecast episode of
Disaster Yukon the podcast.